Well, good morning, everybody. It is September 30th, the last day of September. It's 7 a.m. It's a Monday. And guess what I have in anticipation of October 1st? Not regular coffee with guess what kind of creamer? Go on, guess. Pumpkin pie. Pumpkin spice. They had it on sale at Walmart. For like $3.50 for this like quartzsite thing of it, and I couldn't help myself. It's going to be October. It's going to be Halloween time. Tastes pretty good. Pretty good. Not sure I want it every day, but it's nice to have a little bit of it. And I hope everybody's doing well. Dottie and I are here to read the comments to you. So the first one is on a positive news video. Get out to feel joy. It's about a study of over 8,000 people whose mental health measurably increased when they got out and did things in nature. So Dan Hardesty says, your positive news is the one thing I look forward to on YouTube. Thank you. And I replied to him and I said, Dan, thank you. That means a lot to me, especially since these videos get so little attention and views. They really do. But I'm sticking with it. Today is day 214 in a row doing positive videos, and I'm going to keep going and keep going and keep going. Robert Burns says, on my Don't Start Your Nomad channel without watching this. He says, I enjoy your videos and see the work required to produce them. I watch multiple channels such as Catherine Gregory, which is unique with great photography mixed with music. Elon Musk Starlink has changed and improved internet for travel. Let's see. Don the First on that same video says, woot woot, 6,000 whoozah. I crossed the line, 6,000. I chuckle every time I say this because I watch channels that have, 50,000, 100,000, 500,000, a million, 2 million subscribers, and I'm celebrating 6,000. It's kind of funny. But thank you, Don the First. Lisa Roth on the Get Out video. I've always been an outdoors person from when I was a kid to present day. When it is too hot or too cold to be outside, I am sad. Your theory combined with this British study makes sense. And my theory was, I think it's not just being out in nature. I think it's doing things to change your environment on a regular basis to experience new things. And it's even re-experiencing old things, just not having the same environmental input every day. If you change that up, I think it increases your mood. It betters your mood. Don't Start Your Nomad channel. Don the First says, I appreciate how you consider your followers. Thank you very much. You're welcome. Renee says on the comments video, we homeschooled all 5 of our kids, encouraged them to think for themselves and to research info. And that's a reference to me talking about the positive news videos where they're teaching kids how to distinguish between genuine news and fake news. Ken Gray says, I always love doing new things. They make me happy. That's the Get Out video. And on the comments video, congratulations on reaching 6,000 subscribers. That's from M. Campbell. Thank you. And Richard on the comments video, good morning. Enjoyed your comments. Cheers. Maybe we'll run into you in quartzsite this year. I'm sure we will, Richard. I'm definitely going to have a meetup, and I'm around a lot. I'm in town almost every day, and it's hardly a day I go into town where someone doesn't say, hey, I watched your channel, and we chat. So he has another comment. Subscribers may find you slower if you don't advertise for them. I was saying how I don't say, please come and please subscribe. I don't ask people to do that. But I think the ones that do will stay longer. No data to back it up, just the way I feel. Some people don't realize when you have a Google account, you have mail and YouTube as well as much more on that same account. That's a good point. So if you have a Google account, you've got a YouTube channel. And Lisa Richards on the comments video, thank you for helping me smile today. Well, one comment like that, if I had one view on a video and only one view, and the comment was that, I would consider that video as a definite success. And I'm not kidding. It's true. Rose, I wonder if they have babies. Well, we better explain what video that's commenting on. And that is a short called Ducks and Fish. And it's in the RV resort here. There's a little garden with a koi pond, and I did a short of following some ducks, some mom and dad duck, and they were gliding over the koi. So that's what she was saying. And they do have babies. I saw the babies in the spring. Massage by Arnold on Don't Start Your RV Nomad channel without watching this is, oh my God, thank you so much for taking your time to explain how you got started. It shows in your videos how much you enjoy doing it, and it shows in your positive energy. We love watching your videos with our dogs, Niles and Simba. Hi, Niles. Hi, Simba. Simba, hello. I wonder if that worked. Rob, thank you for everything you do. Have a wonderful day. There's read more here. Arnold Martinez Lens from Santa Maria Ventral Coast, California. All right. Rose, on the Get Out video, I agree. Awesome to beat the blues. Stay happy, focused, happy trails. Hugs to the fur babies. That's from Rose. And Rose has another one. You at 6K subs. Cool. I'm happy for you and Dottie and George. I don't have a YouTube channel yet. Interesting to learn tips, etc. Happy trails. Safe trails. Hugs for fur babies and Dottie. And, you know, I do talk about, in a couple of videos about, you know, encouraging people to start a YouTube channel. You know how you do it? You just record your first video and upload it, and there you go. You're on your way. And you can choose to stop there, or you can go for the next 20 years. It's up to you. Older video, 10 things you don't know about RVing and quartzsite. And this is Jim and Jelly Bean Day 1. Okay. Great video, sir. I have a 500 watt system that I purchased from Santoller in Gilbert, Arizona. Just a moment. Santoller is a place that sells solar panels. It's right outside Phoenix. The best prices you can really get anywhere. A 12 volt system of two 250 watt panels, charge controller, wiring, basically everything but batteries, and fuse panel for inside, $221. I was able to install it on, and that was 3 years ago, and it works great. In the future, I'd like to add a generator and upgrade batteries to lithium and iron phosphate. Thank you, sir, for sharing your videos. You can buy equipment there, and you can take it to quartzsite with you, and you can hire like solar bills or Discount Solar to install your equipment. As long as they inspect it and think it's safe, they'll install it for a price. Color Creativity, congratulations on reaching 6,000. Good morning. Well, good morning, Color Creativity. And the Get Out video, Judy, who's right across the street. I'm so anxious to get to Q so we can spend more time together with friends. Buddy is so bored now. We go sit outside for a few minutes, but I can't do it. The heat. It's been over 100. It's going to be over 100 until like the end of next week. Or is it the end of this week it's going to break? Hang on. Let's get accurate. Pull up the Pahrump weather. I shudder to see what it's going to say for today. 102 today. 104 tomorrow. Oh my gosh. And it doesn't go down until the 12th. So almost 2 weeks before the temperature dips. Incredible. This is an unexpected heat wave. Lisa Roth. Okay, Lisa's right next to Judy again. This is an excellent idea, Rob. People need to know this stuff. And what is she talking about? I don't know if you saw yesterday's. So I got interrupted because I ran out of space on my SD card and it stopped recording. So I'm going to repeat a little bit. If you didn't see yesterday's comment video, I was saying at the end, I need to do my long form video, and I don't know what it's going to be. I have no idea. And I sat in the chair and I just like, what do I do? And I came up with the idea of talking about the rules in quartzsite in the LTVAs, and how many people think they have rights there and they think the rights that they have, and it's not really true. And if you sort of get into a beef with the officials, they can just pull your permit, and you've got 12 hours to get yourself and your stuff out of there. And that does happen occasionally. And my theory is that it happens when people take the position that they think they know what their rights are. A good example is, quiet hours are 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. So I have a right to run my generator as much as I want from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. That's not true. And if you want to see why that's not true, watch the video. As what I'm going to say here is this video had a very unexpected response. Let's go take a look and see. I didn't put it up until like 4 o'clock, 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon, and it's already got 2,343 views. I mean, it's gained 100 just between 6 and 7 a.m. So it's the most popular video I have had so far in a long time, like over a year, and I have no idea why. People seem to like it. Let's see, the like rate is 197 likes and 1 dislike. There's always one, right? Isn't there always one? So Lisa's saying this is an excellent idea. Rob, turns out it was. Who knew? People need to know this stuff. So I think as we scroll up, we're going to have a lot of comments on that video. Ken Gray says, this is all good information. Michael's Human says, dumb question. Would a converted van without a built-in toilet be called a self-contained unit? Do these rules only apply to LTVAs? Thanks for the videos. And I said, Michael, it would need to have a 10-gallon holding tank. So no, it would have to be, you would have to camp within 500 feet of a vault toilet. There are 10 of them in La Posa South LTVA. The rule does not apply to the 14-day BLM areas, just the LTVAs. M. Campbell says, good to know there's nothing weird or onerous to worry about. Sounds like if you use common sense and courtesy, you'll be just fine. Can you have a yard sale at your camp? And I answered, I doubt it, because there's a rule against commercial operations, and I think they would consider that a commercial operation. I've seen people try to set up selling things at their camp, and the next day the whole setup is gone, because it's just, you have to have a permit to do it. Michael's Human says, thank you. I surmised that, but was not sure. I think he's talking about all the rules that I went over. Terry 3193 is, don't start your own new YouTube channel without watching this first, my other video. Hey Rob, congratulations on 6,000 subscribers. Yay, that's awesome. Why you don't have 600,000 is beyond me. That would be great, huh? 100 times what I have now, that would be something. So consistent, practical advice, and most importantly, no clickbait or drama. I love your channel. Always look forward to watching them. Thanks so much for taking the time to produce and share. Good luck. And I like it when people say no clickbait or drama, because I really see that there's been channels that I've watched for years, and I think I think what's happening, what I'm witnessing, is these well-meaning folks have a great channel. They're very successful. They get to a certain level and they start stalling because, people get done. People, trust me, you might love my channel right now, but after watching it for a long time, you're going to get kind of tired of it and you're going to want to move on to something else. And that's just the nature of things, right? So if you are depending on the income, or you've grown dependent on the income, you're going to start doing things to increase viewership. And the things that do it are what he's saying, it's clickbait and drama. It really is. I have this program called vidIQ, and it's tied into my YouTube studio. And when I upload something, it has suggestions. It says, It gives you a score on, how attractive your video is, 0 to 100. And mine are usually pretty low. And what it says is, if you're low, it says, the first thing it says is your title doesn't evoke emotion, right? And they talk about the same thing with your thumbnail, provoking emotion. And that's drama sells. It does. It explains why my positive news videos, those are the lowest click rates. Everything's lowest because it's the opposite of drama. So these channels, they're almost forced into doing this to even, I'm not necessarily saying they need to grow. They reach an inflection point and they start losing subscribers, so they have to do something just to maintain what they're getting, right? It's like if you were working a job and they were paying you $5,000 a month and all of a sudden it dropped to $3,000. That would be, if you built a life around $5,000 a month and you dropped to $3,000, that's an issue. So many of these channels that I don't watch anymore because I'm just like, I see the thumbnails and I just go, this is not something I'm interested in, because I'll know from the title and the thumbnail that it's a gross exaggeration of the content of the video. It's kind of a bummer, but I understand it. I understand what they're trying to do. Rose, unveiling the perfect travel trailer and F-150 match. That's a couple months old. Rose, you've been watching my own videos. Bless your heart. Enjoyed the video. Trailers are nice. Thank you, Rose. Tim Harris says on the LTVA permit thing, the avoid getting it. Did I say what the title of that was? It's avoid getting your LTVA permit revoked. And you might, there's an argument to be made about this thumbnail clickbaiting. It says, it's got a picture of me and the La Posa South sign, and it says camping permit revoked. And if that's all it was, and I did the title the same way, that's clickbait, because that implies I got my permit revoked. But if you always see the title next to the thumbnail, and I think what saves me from being guilty of clickbait, it says avoid getting your LTVA permit revoked. So it's clear that this isn't about me getting my permit revoked. It's about how you can avoid getting it revoked. I think that the thumbnail is a thing that's driving a lot of the viewing here. I gotta say, I think that's a little dramatic, isn't it? Permit revoked. Let's see if there's the big indication of clickbait is when people drop off viewership. Let's see, audience retention. I don't see engagement. I think it's under engagement. It says engagement is audience retention. No audience retention data available for the video. Processing can take 2 days. But I think on the phone version, it gives you something. I'm pretty sure it gives you something. Hang on a second. Let's get in here. Let's go in and go to analytics. Content. There's got to be something here that's going to tell me. Okay. So average view duration is 5 minutes and 13. Is that good or no? I'm not sure. Oh, you know what? That's for everything. That's not for just this video. We need to just look at this video. I know I'm going down a rabbit hole, but you know what? That's what I do. Okay, average view duration is up. 7 minutes and 34 seconds, which is, I think it's a little, it's a little deceiving to say it's up. It's got the little green arrow up because it's just comparing absolute values. But the average view duration as a percent of the total is only about 25%. And that's not very good. So I think there's going to be a chunk of people, now that I'm looking at this, that thought, hey, I'm going to click on this right away. I didn't really read the title. I saw a camping permit revoked in big letters, and this guy got his permit revoked. And they watched the first few minutes and go, oh, no, he didn't. And they clicked off. So, I think I might have a little bit of guilt in there for that. A little bit of guilt. But a lot of people stayed. A lot of people stayed and watched the thing and enjoyed it, because there is, right now there's, what did I say? Now there's 2,600 views. See, there's a lot of likes and only one dislike. And that's when you piss people off with clickbait, you get a lot of dislikes. They get angry, and I don't blame them. They hit that dislike just as they're exiting. And we're not seeing that here. You're seeing, let's see, how many? I had that, didn't I? Didn't I have that up there of number of dislikes? Or I'm just getting confused because I'm an old man, right? Let's go back and take a look at let. So we have 2,000. Oh, we need to reload this because it was 23:51 a few minutes ago. But the other shows, this is behind because it's 2,600 now. But there are 199 likes and only one dislike. So I've only pissed off one person. And I don't blame that one person for hitting dislike, because if they didn't really read the title carefully, they might have been under the impression that I got my permit revoked. And they were upset when they wasted their time. And I don't want to waste anybody's time. All right. Am I done with the tangent? Let's see. Tim Harris, thanks for all the good info, Rob. I plan to be there next week. I'm a little nervous. I hope the weather cools down. I see it's still in the hundreds. Tim, if you're seeing this, I was nervous too my first time. I remember driving. I had a different trailer. I had a longer trailer, a 27-foot a Leighton Nomad trailer. And I was pulling that through the middle of Quartzsite going, where am I going? And it was January and there was traffic everywhere. I was very nervous. Everything was foreign. And am I going to be able to turn around? Am I going to get trapped? Do I know where to go? I was nervous, but I got over it. I'll tell you a secret. Even now, whenever it's a travel day, like I'm usually one place for a couple of months or so, and the morning where I'm going to get in and pull all my worldly goods on the highway, I'm nervous every single time until I get into the truck and I start going down the road and the nervousness goes away. But it's still every single time. Color Creativity says, thank you for the information. People forget to be sensitive to those around them. This is a good reminder. I am a person who's afraid of other people's dogs who are not on a leash. And there's no good reason to have your dog off a leash. It's not only against the rules in the LTVA, but it's just so disrespectful to other people. You could have the most wonderful dog in the world, but if it runs towards me and my dog, I don't know that. I don't know if my Dottie's about to be attacked or not. I'm not so much afraid for myself. I'm afraid for my dog. So we have David G. Johnson says, what about making a campsite border using rocks with the intent of claiming that area year after year? I know campers have certain friends that they want to camp together. It's not fair to tell someone that this spot is reserved or you're camping in my spot that I've been camping in every year. I've seen some elaborate rock formations claiming sites. True statement. Personally, I think in April, the rangers or hosts should just get a grader to remove the rock borders with the exception of fire pits. She had a couple of responses to that I didn't see. Now I see them. Brindy Blessing says, saw a video from last week. Many of the Q rock borders and rock art were eradicated before the season started. Tina Vestal, the public lands belong to everyone. You can't just stake out your favorite place to use year after year. Come early, take your best shot. I'll make a comment on that. There are people that have rock borders and come back every year. And what I do know is they don't have any right to do that. If I come early enough, and probably there's one that is probably the most famous for it in La Posa South, is there's a guy that's every year, and there's huge rocks that I don't even know how he moved that surround his camp, and he's there every year. And my guess is that in order to ensure he's there, he shows up right at September 15th and claims that spot. Because if he didn't, I could drive in there and drive into his compound and take that spot. There's nothing he could say about it. That said, let's think about this. If you're concerned with people staking out areas in the LTVA, it's thousands of acres. Thousands of acres. Thousands of acres. It's huge. There are plenty of places that you can camp. And you know what? If one is staked off by rocks or something, who cares? It all looks the same. It's the desert. It's all flat. It's all the same. I mean, you could make arguments that there's some good spots that overlook a wash or something, but come on, there are plenty of washes. You can find a spot anywhere, and I wouldn't waste a lot of energy worrying about some guy wanting to stake out the same place every year. I go in exactly the same place every year. And I used to worry, is somebody going to be in my place when I get there? And I realized how silly that was. If someone's where I used to be, so what? I just go a little bit further out, a little further this way, that way, and come on. It's all the same. So anyway, those are my feelings about that. We have Martin B saying thanks for sharing. And now I'm not going to even mention the video because all these are about the avoid getting your permit. Rose says, that's interesting. Rumors out that it may someday be turned into a solar farm as well as Slab City. Slab City has many offers, but the buyers are swaying away because of the high expense of having to clean it up. I see some channels post they go to Slab City when leaving quartzsite. Supposedly Slab City is free. I've seen videos out here on YouTube about people, they burn quartzsite wood as firewood, and others let their gray water tank drip, and others dump their urine on the ground, and the place stinks like an outhouse. They say not to be gross. Good thing you're letting the rules out. I never knew. Stay safe out there. Okay, those are YouTube rumors. And let's straighten out a couple of them. Slab City is owned by the state of California. I believe at one point it was a teachers union out of Los Angeles that owned it, but I think the state, and that could be part of the state, and that's what they mean, but it's state property, right? It's not BLM land. BLM is Bureau of Land Management. It's federal. The LTVAs are part of the BLM. It's a totally different thing. And no one's going to turn the BLM land into a solar farm. And it's just that I think that's inconceivable. Turning Slab City into a solar farm, that's absolutely conceivable, and that's been seriously talked about in the media. All right, Slab City, anyone that's there is basically a squatter on state land. There's no right or rule that says camping rules for that. They just pretty much ignore what people are doing out there, and they consider them basically squatters on the land. And people do live out there. It's called Slab City because it used to be a military base, and there were cement foundations that were left there after they abandoned it, and they're concrete slabs. Slab City. So there's lots of stories and drama about Slab City, some of which are true, some of which are clickbait. But anyway, I hope I cleared those things up. Oh, the other thing is about mobs of people burning quartzsite wood as firewood and letting their gray and water drip and it's smelling like urine. I'm not saying those things don't happen, but they're very few and far between. I've never witnessed it or heard people talking about, when you live there in the winters, for like in the Posa South where I am, if you, not only do you witness stuff, but campers love to gossip. They love to talk. If anything's going on, you hear about it. And, the camp hosts are always driving around in the cart and checking stuff out. And they're around, even when it's busy, they're around pretty often, checking out your rig, checking your tags. Breaking those rules to any significant degree it's not really possible. So Nathan, Living Our Journey, says, great topic, Rob. Even though I feel I'm in compliance with all these rules, I never gave them much thought until now. I'd definitely be more mindful of them now. Dirt Road Jim says, unfortunately, some people think the world revolves around them. Camping should be quite safe and relaxing. There's so many USA forever for me. There's so many incredibly inconsiderate campers. I've lost hope. And I haven't found that to be true in Quartzsite. There have been cases where I said, boy, that's really inconsiderate, but it's few and far between. Even when, like where I was camping is a pretty quiet place, except during Big Tent Week, where over 100 rigs came to the area that I was in. It was like wall-to-wall rigs for like a week. Even when it was that busy, people were pretty kind. There was some, amplified music that my campmates were pretty upset about, but I guess they were between me and the music, so I didn't hear it, and I slept like a baby, but they weren't happy. But few and far between, mostly considerate people. Gypsy Rose says, thank you for sharing this. I'm on my way in 2 days for the first time. All right. This does help a lot. Most of what you said is common sense and common courtesy. Yes, it is. On my Get Out video, a little break from the LTVA video, M. Campbell says, I can never stay upset when there's nature to walk through. I find it so engrossing that there isn't any room left in my brain for negative things. And then we're back to surfing, FLA, surfing Florida. In the eyes of the ranger, the unsuspecting stranger better know the truth of wrong from right. That was kind of the message. If you're going to go there, know what the rules are, and more importantly, what the powers are of the people that manage the area. And the biggest point that I made here that I think is most important is they can revoke that permit. In addition to breaking the written rules, they can decide any behavior that goes against the goals of the LTVA and the BLM. It constitutes a valid reason to revoke your permit. That's a broad power that is subject to the interpretation of the official that makes the decision. And I think we're going to come across a comment here that's false. Don't think that it's only a couple of people that work for the BLM that are never going to be around. I don't care whether the camp host has the authority or not. What they do have the authority to do is to confront you, suggest to you that you come in compliance with their request. And if you refuse, they will get a ranger there. trust me, I've seen it over and over again. And if you think when it's busy there are no rangers around, you're mistaken. Because I've been there year after year. I see rangers, and I know they come when a camp host, a volunteer camp host, any volunteer has a direct problem with a camper. They will come and back them up every time. They will. Now, there may be a camp host out there that's going to jump in the comments and say, well, they didn't back me up. Well, maybe not 100%. I think they maybe when it's busy, they pick and choose. But for the most part, they're there. I've been a camp host, not for the BLM, but I've been a volunteer camp host for the Army Corps of Engineers. They have their own Ranger squad, and they backed us up. When we said we needed help, the Rangers would come out. They would absolutely come out. They may not do exactly what I wanted them to do, but they would have my back. And while I think they should have gotten a citation, they'll get a warning, but I don't make those decisions. They do, but they come out and they backed what I was saying. So Red Hot in the Desert said, as usual, Red Hot in the Desert says, as usual, an excellent informative video, Rob. It would soon be pretty clear to me that shower tents that utilize outdoor showers would not be allowed because the gray water would go into the ground. Yet I've seen dozens of videos of people in the LTVAs using them. I'm not sure about that. That's a really good question. If I can't use mine, I'm going to need to buy a portable gray water transporter because my 23-liter gray tank will require emptying after every shower. That hardly seems practical. If you can offer any insight into shower tents, please pass it on. Thanks for your excellent vids, and see you soon in quartzsite. It's come up before on the channel, and I don't know the 100% answer to that, but I have seen shower tents, and I think that I don't think there's much of an argument about gray water if you're standing outside your rig and you dump a bucket over your head to cool off. Is that illegal? I don't think so. Is that gray water? In a technical way, maybe it is, but from a rule standpoint, I think you could do that right in front of a ranger, and he's not going to care. So then you take it up a notch, and you have a shelter that you do that where you essentially maybe pump from a bucket of water. I think that's kind of the same. I think what they're talking about is that if you have a rig and you're collecting gray water in a tank and then you empty it out into the environment, I think that's what they're referring to. But you can always ask. You can call up the Yuma office and ask them, or when you're there, you can go, when you check in, you say, hey, is an outdoor tent, and describe what you have, is that allowed? And they'll tell you. Or they might say, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm sure there'll be an answer. Don the First, all this is great to know. Much of it is simple courtesy and not thinking you are too important to have to consider anyone but yourself. And we have Bird Lady. So here's a long one that I think I'm going to have some things to say about. Bird Lady says, it seems like there should be areas just for car and tent camping with more vault toilets. Now with so many huge motorhomes with side-by-sides, they're using much more of the resources, water dump station, filling dumpsters with Amazon boxes and not even flattening, etc. Loud generators running all day, and side-by-sides running in and out all the time. There's no area of the LTVs for peaceful quiet existing. Dogs just bored, barking with owners sitting right there, not making any attempt to stop the barking is inconsiderate too. Many of the irregular campers, like buses, ambulances, and cargo trailers, are not allowed in RV parks. It seems like the LTVA should not allow RVs as they are allowed in parks. I don't know what that means. You shouldn't allow RVs as they are allowed in parks. So if I'm allowed in a park, you're saying I shouldn't be allowed in the LTVA? Maybe have different price points. I think they're going to have a different price point for everybody next year. So people with RVs should get charged a lot more in another fee for side-by-side trailers. I'm not sure what the answer is, but it's sad that those who depend on those inexpensive areas just to survive may have it priced out of range to those who hog all the resources. I don't agree with any of this. I really don't. I think that with the exception of people that have gray and black water tanks that use the dump stations versus someone that doesn't have a tank, they use more resources. But there are people that are car camping that have just as many Amazon boxes, use just as much water. I guess I really don't see it. Loud generators aren't something that are attached to big RVs. I've seen people with tents with loud generators. It just, and as far as parking, there are 10-volt toilets. I don't know if you're aware of this. There are 10 of them throughout just La Posa South. And so even when it's packed, they're ones that are far off, that you don't see a lot of the units that need to be within 500 feet. You don't see a lot of them in around. There's some in the middle that, maybe have 10 vans and stuff within 500 feet in their own little community. And that's about as packed as I see it. But there are other ones that have hardly any around it. Or you could go across the street to the Tyson Wash, and there's more vault toilets, and there are less people, or for free, if you have a small car, it's easy to move, so you can stay in the free areas, and there's no requirement to be near a vault toilet because there are none. I just don't agree with any of this, especially telling me that you don't think I should be allowed there because my trailer is allowed in an RV park. I don't go to quartzsite to stay in an RV park, and many people don't either. So I think I think there's a lot of misinformation in that comment. There's another bird lady says, I don't think RVs should be within 500 feet of the vault toilets. They're self-contained, so taking up space that should be for car campers should be available for them. I don't think so either. I mean, there are people that really would rather not use their tanks so they don't have to dump as often, and they want to use the vault toilets. And they have every right to be in. Face it, the reality is you don't see big RVs parked near vault toilets often at all. And even if there were, there's plenty of room for everybody. And, having courtesy for other people means equal, in this case, in my mind, means everyone has equal access. From the guy with $1.5 million motorhome to the guy in the 10-year-old Prius have equal rights to park where they want to park within the rules, and as long as they obey the rules and pay their fee, they have equal rights. So I just don't agree with starting to penalize people for your convenience. Not okay. Couple Science says they should hire you to do an introduction to BLM lamb camping. I'm not sure they'll do that. And I think my buddy there is the last one to make a comment, but we will reload and see if there's another one after that. And there are several. Whoops. Okay. I need to get down to... All right. Ken Gray says, a week's worth of... this is already on today's video, is come with me to Walmart. He says a week's worth of groceries usually cost me between $80 and $100. So not bad. It was like $49 this trip for me. He says, again, I still shop at Walmart, but I haven't been inside for years. I use the app, build my grocery list to add stuff over time, just like you would on Paperlist. I don't have to use self-checkout or have anybody check my receipt. And I take my dog Rex with me. Good for you. Serving breakfast and kindness. BO charts. I just put up this positive news video about a cafe in London that doesn't charge anything and uses donations, and I wanted the title to be serving breakfast and kindness, no charge, and it says serving breakfast and kindness, BO charge. Let's change the BO to no charge. That's funny. And I also posted it on my Facebook. And the picture of me has my hand over my face. That's funny. Okay, let's see how Facebook is going to have exactly the same problem where I posted it. Oh, it's not up yet. It takes a while to post sometimes in Facebook. I'll have to track that. But Ken, thanks for not mentioning my typo. Richard Cockerell on the long form video was come with me to Walmart shopping. Morning, not many people there. Parker Walmart is always jam packed, as I'm sure you know. I hardly ever go there. M. Campbell says on serving breakfast and kindness at Bow Charge. It's no charge. Love this. Community tables are great. I used to frequent, this is M. Campbell if I didn't say that. Community tables are great. I used to frequent a small restaurant that had a big table up front. The owner called it the kitchen table, and you didn't sit there unless you didn't mind company. The conversations sometimes with complete strangers were great. Thanks so much. And that is a 36-minute comment video today. I hope you enjoy it. More than 36 because it's in 2 parts. It's over 40 then. I'll see you tomorrow.